The Pope's Final Message, a novella by P.J. Gott and Logan Light. Chapter 18, The Final Spiral. The light of Easter morning filtered through the stained glass windows of Santa Maria Maggiore, casting hues of crimson, gold, and violet upon the ancient floor. Pilgrims knelt, unaware of what lay beneath their knees. Below them, beneath marble and relic, entombed in silence, was the truth that had survived centuries of suppression, the truth that the world had been warned not to find. Pamela stood beside Lia in the quiet chapel of the basilica's crypt, her voice barely above a whisper. This is where they brought them, Philo and Gamaliel, the Nasarene couple who were tasked with preserving the way of the Nazarenes, all buried so the world could remember what it forgot. Lia glanced around the room. Then why not tell everyone? Pamela looked at her, eyes brimming with fire and sorrow. Because the truth is not safe. The truth gets people killed. Polycarp, Hypatia, Bruno, thousands more, burned, broken, erased. And yet the truth lives. Lia frowned, concerned. Are we in danger? She quickly pushed the thought aside. The woman approached Pamela and handed her an open codex. Please read aloud, she whispered. This is his final message. He buried it with them for safekeeping, waiting for the day their final resting place was found and their secrets revealed. I translated it from Greek for you. Pamela smiled as she saw the words. Then she read them aloud. Peace be with you. Love without fear. Speak truth even in the shadow of the sword. This world is not ours to rule, but to heal. The way is not a throne, but a table. Light a candle in remembrance of her, the one called Magdalene. Not a prostitute, but a philosopher. Not a sinner, but the embodiment of the sacred feminine. The church silenced her voice, but I have heard it, even unto my last breath. Let the stone be rolled away, not from a tomb, but from hearts long deceived. Pamela stopped reading. He knew what they were about to do. He knew they would erase him just like they tried to erase her. But he left this as a witness, and now so must we. Lia looked down at the codex. Her voice hushed. Then what do we do? Pamela took her hand and nodded toward the rising light. We remember, we write, we speak. Rain slicked the marble streets as they made their way back to the Casa Santa Marta. Pamela clutched the codex tightly, as if it might vanish. Lia carried the feather in a small glass case, cradled like a relic. The Pope was waiting. This time there were no courtiers, no guards, only the quiet hush of the chamber where their journey had first begun. He stood by the fire, hands folded, eyes closed in thought. When he turned, there were tears. You have found it, he said. Pamela stepped forward and placed the codex in his hands. He placed it gently on a table. Lia placed the glass case on the mantel. The feather shimmered, unchanged. We reenacted the rite, Pamela said, not for show, for return. The Pope nodded. And it returned through you. He stepped aside, revealing a small wooden chair before the fire. Sit, he said, not as a guest, as a witness. Pamela sat, grounding herself in the stillness. Lia stood beside her, silent and steady. The Pope took a small vessel from beneath his robe. Inside, oil glistened with herbs, myrrh, hyssop, frankincense. He anointed Pamela's brow, her invisible third eye. Softly he said, wisdom to wait for the silence to speak. He anointed her left hand, then her right, tools to share the truth. He turned to Lia and placed the vessel in her hands. You are the keeper of the breath. When the voice fades, you will remind her. He turned back to Pamela and placed his hands on her shoulders. You carry the flame. You carry the name. But you're not alone. The silence settled. It was deeper than words. The fire flickered once, then rose in a spiral. Not smoke, but light. Franciscus reached into a pocket. First, go to Paris. He handed her a piece of paper. That's the address. Introduce yourself to the greeter. The guide will escort you to the Cabinet de Medaille. There you will be shown a cameo called the Great Cameo of France. She frowned. And? He smiled. The original name was Triumph of Joseph at the court of the Pharaoh. It was taken from Gamaliel the night he moved their bones from the baker's tomb to the Esquiline Hill. Her eyes widened. It's in Paris? Yes, he smiled. Tell him it's time to return it to its home here in Rome. It belongs with them in their basilica. She nodded. I will inform them that you have respectfully requested that it be returned to its rightful owners. Then go back home, he said. Write your book about the historical men called Jesus. Wait for my signal. You won't wait long. You will hear it announced as breaking news. Then you can reveal that all the popes knew, just as I have known. Pamela could not hold back a tear. Lia stepped closer, her own eyes shining, one hand instinctively resting on Pamela's shoulder, bearing silent witness to the weight of it all. He continued, I will join them in their final resting place. Those who bow to honor me will be bowing before them. It is the greatest gift I can give to those who love them, who try to live as they lived, as I have tried to live. As they turned to leave, Franciscus said, There will always be those who seek to deny and destroy these sacred truths, and they are dangerous. He extended both hands. Pamela placed her right hand in his right. Lia placed her left hand in his left. Then, joining their free hands, they formed the circle of remembrance. For a moment, they stood in silence, three voices across time, bound by memory, witness, and vow. To Pamela, he said, You are their messenger. To Lia, you are their guardian. He closed his eyes. The light of love surrounds you. Remember, darkness is a cunning adversary. Be vigilant. They could not yet know the darkness he warned of was already waiting for them back in the States. Pamela and Lia slipped through a side door of the Casa Santa Marta into the Roman sun and turned toward the Perugino Gate, the discreet passage long used by Vatican staff and clergy. As they stepped onto the path, the bells of Rome erupted in unison, a chorus of iron voices rising to the heavens, as if the city itself were bearing witness. Inside Casa Santa Marta, Pope Francis sat alone in the quiet of his chamber, the morning light casting long shadows across the marble floor. Before him lay the codex, its binding aged, its message sealed in silence for centuries. With reverent hands, Franciscus reached for it. His fingertips paused on the cover, as if sensing the weight not only of history, but of hope. Then, gently, he opened it and began to read. From Kesar to her daughters. Within you is a gene that controls the light of life, the energy source that creates and sustains physical beings. It resides in our sons, but they cannot pass it on. It is our gift, given freely, to be tended with care. The time will come when this gene is discovered, but how it works will remain elusive because it cannot be seen or tested. When wise women and men have found it and need to know what to do with it, this message can be revealed. The ember of everlasting life is my gift to all our children. It grows brighter with each act of kindness, generosity, and forgiveness. It grows dimmer with each act of hostility, greed, or revenge. When it was learned that people would pay for a way to take from others without extinguishing the ember, a way was offered: blood. First human, later lamb, goat, or calf. The sacrificed life became the currency for a fee. We tried to teach the truth, the awesome possibility of everlasting life for humankind. Simple statements, easily remembered. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to others. Some listened, others did not. When the end of life comes, the bright ember survives and moves into a new realm. But when the ember is extinguished, nothing moves forward. The light is lost. From Kesar to my sons, let no doctrine override your knowing. Let no priest, no book, no temple steal your birthright. You are the vessel through which life remembers itself. The spark is not in stone or scroll. It is not in sacrifice or fear. It is in the love you give without condition. It is in the wisdom passed from mother to child. This is the light. This is the law. And when the world is again ready to listen, you will not need a temple. You will be the temple. You will carry the flame. Franciscus closed the codex. Outside, bells rang across Rome. Inside, the silence pressed in. For a long time he sat, holding the codex to his heart, as if by doing so he might hear the voice of Kesar guiding him. His eyes drifted to the small wooden box on the table, a box prepared long ago, large enough to hold the codex, lined in red velvet, a burial box. His eyes lifted to the window. The light had shifted, no longer gold, but white, pure, without shadow. Let it begin, he whispered. But his hand did not move. Not yet. The Pope's Final Message, a novella by P.J. Gott and Logan Light.